Water, a vital resource for life and for development.
My wife heard I'm coming here and she said, "You are already 71 years old. Why do you want to go and speak against the government? Do you know you can go to jail? Do you know you can be sued? In Singapore, everybody is so afraid. Even today, I contact a few people. Will you speak? They say, cannot, Mr. Tan. I work in the civil service. Sure, I get into trouble." Now, I think it's very bad. It's very bad in Singapore if everybody are so scared that even your money is at stake, you dare not speak out. Today, you are affected. Tomorrow, somebody else will be affected by something else. We cannot be selfish. Only when we are affected, we come out. So we must all be willing to stand together and pass a message to the government. If you make a mistake, don't keep quiet. And I'm talking about the overcapacity causing such a big loss. Why, for the last 6 months, no news from EMA, no news from the government? If they come out early and say, we will take some responsibility, Hyflux today won't be so bad. Now, my name is Tan Kin Lian. I am not an investor, but I have been following the Hyflux event. Now, 34,000 retail investors invested a total of $900 million in the Hyflux preference shares and perpetual securities. Many of the people who bought these securities were not savvy investors. They were allowed to apply using the ATM. Hyflux operates water plants, and the water plants are strategic national assets. Now, what went wrong? In 2011, the Public Utilities Board called for a tender for Tuas Spring desalination plant. Hyflux submitted a tender and proposed an integrated desalination and power plant, water plant and power plant integrated. They were awarded the tender by PUB. PUB asked the tenderer to quote a price for the water, and the concession is 25 years. Please quote a price and don't adjust the price because of cost of electricity. So this is one of the conditions. You quote a price, cannot adjust because of cost of power, electricity. We all know that desalinated water needs a lot of electricity. And how can we know what is the price of electricity 25 years down the road? So because of this condition, Hyflux, I think, decided to build a power plant so that they can control the cost of electricity through the power plant. So this was the reason why Hyflux proposed power plant with a desalination plant, so as to protect against the cost of power. There were subsequent events that turned out to be a disaster for Hyflux. The Energy Market Authority gave vesting contracts to several new power generating companies to build additional capacity amounting to 3,000 megawatts. So in 3 years, 3,000 megawatt additional capacity. At that time, demand for electricity was 7,000 megawatt, but the existing power generating company already produced more than 7,000. So when you add on another 3,000, what happened? The capacity become 2 times of the demand. And because the capacity is 2 times of the demand, the wholesale price of electricity dropped. It dropped from $215 per megawatt hour in 2011. It dropped to $63. You just imagine you run any business, you pay for your goods coming in at the market price, and your selling price dropped to 1/3. Okay, and why does it drop? Because the Energy Market Authority give license to new power plant to produce electricity and make the overcapacity 2 times of the demand. One industry expert said the additional capacity of 3,000 megawatt was totally unnecessary. The additional capacity was outside the control of Hyflux or of the existing power generator. They got no way to stop it. It is a decision of the Energy Market Authority to give new license for the power generator. So in my view, the problem faced by Hyflux is to a large extent caused by the action of the EMA. And the EMA is the government. Because they increased the capacity by so much, the price dropped by so much, there's nothing Hyflux can do. So I think Hyflux, therefore, was a victim of this overcapacity. Who are the people who lose? You invested in Hyflux, and some of you invested a large part of your retirement saving. Now, you are the people who has to bear the loss for this big disaster caused by EMA and caused by the board of Hyflux collapse. So EMA also has to take the blame. So therefore, I want to call the government, take the responsibility. You cannot just say it's a commercial decision. It's a commercial decision that is beyond the control of Hyflux. And it is the ordinary investors that are going to suffer. The 2016 prospectus, I ask you, how many of you read the prospectus? Put up your hand. Did they, in the 197 page, tell you that Tuas Spring was in trouble? That's 2016. Already 2015, it was in trouble. Did they tell you? I can't find.